just saw Megadeth live and they were flawless, almost too flawless. Every riff, every solo, every beat was nailed. But it felt mechanical, like watching a machine rather than a band. And it made me wonder, does Dave Mustaine even want to be there anymore? And with the band announcing recently their final album and a farewell tour, it got me thinking. Because maybe this is actually the perfect time to call it a day for the band, but part of me isn't so sure. So in this video we're gonna discuss if it's the right move for Megadeth to retire now or if this band still has more to give. There have been some doubts after this retirement announcements, and David Ellison, for example, has said we've seen this movie before. Bands are announcing that they leave and then they're gonna come back, and we see what Slayer is doing. Obviously Dave has been at it now for over 40 years, so with every year that passes, the end is always nearer. So who knows what will happen, but here's what I think is a good reason to retire the band as planned. Now first of all, Dave can. He has nothing more to prove. I mean, the guy got kicked out of the band that later became the biggest thrash metal band in the world, and what did he do? He built the second biggest thrash metal band in the world. Now Dave Mustaine's singing voice was never the crown jewel of Megadeth. It was always the riffing and the soloing and the driving force in the songs. But at this concert, he actually sounded the worst that I've seen him, and he clearly struggled. And on top of that, you notice that they never play certain songs from the early part of their career simply because he cannot sing these songs. I mean, obviously I'm aware of the throat cancer that Dave had, and he beat that luckily, but the voice is simply not there. So retiring now preserves the legacy before it gets too bad or he needs to use backing tracks or something. The show was perfectly performed, but it was cold. There was no crowd hype, no smiles, just riffs. And if the live vibe is starting to feel mechanical, maybe that's a sign to step back. Megadeth are still releasing strong albums, and they have almost no bad albums in their catalog. So if they keep going now, they risk a slow decline. But if they go out now, then they're still on top of their game. Dave Mustaine has carried Megadeth on his back for over 40 years, and he's been through some 20 plus lineup changes and endless drama. So this might be wearing him out a bit, because with this revolving door of members, you're always in this kind of stop-start situation. Now touring at this level isn't easy, especially after his cancer and all these years on the road. So retiring now could be about health, not about just legacy. And why not slow down while you still have the health to do something else? Metal desperately needs new headliners. And as long as these legacy bands keep going, there is going to be less space for new bands to take the big stage. So passing the torch might be the best thing that Megadeth can do for the next generation. But seeing those legacy bands leave us is also hard because these bands have been there since we were kids and teenagers. And somehow we never imagined a world without them. And there are some pretty good arguments for Megadeth to keep going. I mean, first of all, the band is still good. They released some really strong albums, and the last one, The Sick, The Dying and The Dead, was brilliant in my opinion. So why stop while you're still that good? This band is obviously still in demand because at this concert where I saw them, there was 12 to 13,000 people that showed up to see Megadeth. And a lot of younger fans are discovering this band for the first time. So if people still care so much, why stop now? Megadeth is Dave Mustaine, Dave Mustaine is Megadeth. He's been thrashing since Metallica kicked him out in '83. This is who he is and nothing else. So retiring now would probably feel like killing that part of himself. We still need these bands like Megadeth in metal, and with Slayer with one foot out of the door and one foot in of the door and Metallica possibly slowing down, then Megadeth is flying the flag of thrash metal. And to be honest, this lineup just clicks. I think this is one of the best lineups they've ever had. So ending this right now might feel a little bit premature, because it's like pulling the plug on something that is actually working very well. This show was a wake-up call for me. Megadeth are still a killer band, but you can feel the years catching up on Dave's voice and his stage presence. On the other hand, the band sounds better than ever. But that spark, that human fire, it somehow flickers. So here is the real question: if Megadeth kept going for 5 to 10 more years, would they still dominate or would the legacy fade? If it would be up to me, I would say do as planned, drop that one last album and go on your farewell tour. But a part of me hopes that it never stops, because when Megadeth end, a piece of metal history ends with them. So tell me what you think. Is it the right time for Megadeth to retire after this next album? Tell me in the comments below. Now, if you're liking this video, then there is more where this came from. So now might be the perfect time to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next drop. But if you want more right now, then check this video up here. I met David Ellefson when he was on his Bass Warrior tour, and I tried to do an interview with him, but I failed miserably. Check it out.